The sky was a deep orange hue when Deola ran from her father's compound, her feet pounding against the dry earth, her heart thudding louder than the whispers of the village wind. She was barely 17, the daughter of the local herbalist, and as beautiful as a dawn mist calling above the river Ogun. Her eyes, sharp and curious, longed not for tradition or duty, but for freedom. She dreamed of city lights, Instagram filters, lace front wigs, and a life where she could be seen, not hidden behind her father's shrine. It was at a local wedding ceremony that she met Chief Adeyemi, twice her age, rich, influential, and feared. His arrival in the village always stirred whispers. People called him Olekanri by Oyinbo, the man with hands as sweet as honey. But they also said his wives disappeared like morning dew. Deola didn't care. She was captivated by the gold chains on his neck, the gloss of his Range Rover, the attention he lavished on her. He promised her a life beyond village boundaries. A boutique in Ibadan. A visa to Dubai. But there was one condition: he needed a son. Deola accepted, eager to escape the village and the life mapped out for her. She left her family behind without a word, clutching only the lies he whispered into her ears like perfume. Months passed in Chief Adeyemi's mansion, where chandeliers sparkled above her and maids bowed at her feet. She reveled in the newness, the extravagance. But as her belly swelled, so did the weight of his expectations. When she went into labor, it was not with love but fear. The birth was quick, painless almost. But when the midwife placed the newborn in her arms and whispered, "Omo Abinren," Deola's heart dropped. A girl. She had given him a girl. Chief Adeyemi did not come to see her. Not that day. Not the next. The silence was loud. And Deola, desperate to hold on to her golden cage, made a choice that would chase her soul for decades. At midnight, under a thin crescent moon, she wrapped the infant in a white cloth and walked toward the river behind the mansion, Odo I, the river of life. It was said to house spirits older than time. Trembling, she lowered the bunda into the water. The child did not cry. Only the river stirred. She whispered, "Forgive me," and turned away, never looking back. She told everyone the baby was stillborn. The chief didn't ask questions. He married another wife within weeks. Deola, now barren from complications, faded into the background like old wallpaper. The boutique never came. The visa turned to vapor. She lived in silence, in shadows, bound by a secret soaked in river water. 18 years passed. Deola was no longer the glowing village rose but a faded woman hidden in the mansion's backwaters. Her reflection mocked her. She was childless, cast aside, her youthful rebellion curdled into bitterness. She rarely left the compound, until the chief grew ill, struck by a mysterious ailment no doctor could name. With the wives now scrambling for position, Deola ventured out in desperation, seeking someone who could cure him. That's when she met Morankeji. She was a healer from another village. Young, beautiful, confident, with an ageless glint in her eyes. She spoke with a calm authority that unnerved Deola. When Morankeji stepped into the mansion, the air shifted. She demanded silence, herbs, fire, and patience. And slowly, the chief began to heal. The other wives praised her. But Deola watched her with unease. There was something familiar in the girl's gaze, something old. Something knowing. One night, Deola approached her. "Where are you from?" she asked. Morankeji smiled. "I do not know where I was born. I was raised by the river. Found by a fisherman in Odo I." Deola froze. Her chest turned to stone. The girl continued. "I always felt the river carried me for a reason. That I belonged somewhere. That I was returned. Returned." The word clawed at Deola's throat. As the days passed, Morankeji began to rise in the chief's favor. He made her his personal healer. He joked about marrying her. The other wives plotted quietly. But Deola couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw a bundle wrapped in white. She heard the rivers whisper. One night, thunder roared across the sky. Deola went to Morankeji's room and found her praying by the window. "Do you know who I am to you?" Deola asked. Morankeji didn't turn. She only said, "I know what you did." Deola dropped to her knees. "I was young. I was stupid. But the words were swallowed by shame. You must hate me." Morankeji finally turned, her eyes brimming. "I hated you. I did. But the river, it kept me. It raised me. Maybe the spirits chose me to come back not for revenge, but to remind you that some sins don't stay buried." "What do you want?" Deola whispered. "I want nothing. But she glanced toward the chief's quarters, will not live long." The river gave him back for a time, but not forever. And just like that, Morankeji vanished 2 days later. No one knew where she went. The chief died the next week. Deola was left alone, with nothing but whispers and shadows. Some say she lost her mind. Others say she returned to the river every evening, hoping to see the girl again. But the river doesn't return the same thing twice. It only shows you what you buried.